Hello and welcome. Today we're taking a deep dive into the harrowing details of a brutal crime campaign that led to 3 men being sentenced to a total of 59 years in prison. This was a complex and ruthless case, driven by the violent underworld of drug debts and a shocking disregard for human life. We'll be exploring the specific crimes that brought this gang to justice. The most prominent crime in this case was the cold-blooded murder of Gary Moore, a 32-year-old gym boss. On September 6, 2018, Moore was lured to the front door of his home in Airdrie, North Lanarkshire. As he opened the door, he was shot multiple times, a total of 9 times, by Harvey, an enforcer with a known reputation. The motivation for this brutal assassination was a significant drug debt of £100,000 that Moore had accumulated. The High Court in Glasgow heard that the shooting was meticulously planned. A nearby CCTV camera captured the chilling moment Harvey carried out the murder. The violence was so calculated and extreme that Judge Lord Clark described the crimes as extremely brutal. Harvey's fee for the murder was used to fund cosmetic dental treatment in Turkey, a detail that highlights his callous nature. For this crime, he was sentenced to a minimum of 29 years. Just months later, another life was taken in a similar fashion. The body of Rafal Lyko, a 36-year-old Polish national, was discovered in a burned-out Mercedes GLE on February 11, 2019, in Blantyre, South Lanarkshire. Lyko's murder was also linked to drug debts. He had returned to Scotland to work off his debt, but was instead picked up in a stolen vehicle and driven to his death. The court was told that Darren Owen was involved in the collection of the stolen car and was ultimately responsible for Lyko's murder. This tragic end was a stark reminder of the deadly consequences of falling into the world of drug-related crime. Owen was sentenced to a minimum of 22 years. The campaign of violence also included a planned execution that, by chance, did not end in death. On December 3, 2018, drug dealer Scott Bennett, 43, was shot in the head while sitting in his van outside a veterinary office in Rutherglen, South Lanarkshire. CCTV footage captured the moment. A vehicle pulled up alongside Bennett's van, and Harvey emerged, pointing a firearm at the victim. The bullet entered Bennett's jaw, passed through his teeth and tongue, and lodged in his neck. The court heard that this was a pre-planned attempt at an execution carried out by Harvey and Guthrie. Despite the life-threatening injury, Bennett managed to flee the scene in his van. This incident, while not fatal, showed the gang's intent and their willingness to use lethal force. Both Harvey and Guthrie were found guilty of attempted murder. After the shooting, Harvey and his partner took a holiday to Australia, demonstrating their indifference to the violence they had just committed. The crimes were not limited to drug-related targets. The gang also reached outside the criminal underworld, as seen in the shocking attack on Joe Shields, a 68-year-old solicitor. On July 19, 2018, Shields was a victim of a cowardly, unprovoked assault carried out by Guthrie. The jury was shown CCTV of Guthrie waiting for a significant period of time outside Shields' office near Glasgow Sheriff Court. As Shields emerged, Guthrie viciously slashed him. The solicitor suffered significant injuries, including a cut from his ear to the corner of his mouth and another to his right temple, which required 10 stitches. The advocate depute stated that Shields' life was in obvious danger and that he would have died had he not received immediate medical treatment. This attack showed the gang's reach and their willingness to intimidate and harm anyone who they perceived as a threat. The trial shed light on the inner workings of this brutal crime syndicate. Guthrie, who was already serving a life sentence for his role as the getaway driver in the murder of Gary Moore, was described as subservient to Harvey. The group is believed to have had links to brothers Barry and James Gillespie, who ran a global crime network before disappearing in Brazil and are now presumed dead. The sentencing of these 3 men for a combined 59 years brings an end to a terrifying campaign of violence that underscored the ruthlessness of the drug trade. The judge's final words on the matter highlighted the public's deep concern about these planned assassinations and the deeply disturbing link between drug debts and appalling acts of violence.